Welcome to the RIP 28 podcast. Welcome to the RIP 28 podcast. I am your humble host, Sylvester Williams. I am joined by three of my very good friends, as we get ready to talk about some stuff on the RIP 28 podcast. First, I'd like to let everybody know the RIP 28 podcast, we are a place where a bunch of fellas can get together and we can talk about some things that you might like. We talk about some things that you might not like. But anyway, we're going to keep on talking about it. I want to start off introducing my crew. In the top left, we got the educator, Mr. LeBron. Hello, LBZ.
What's going on, people? It's LB, the educator's educator, coming to give it the real like I always do.
Down in the bottom left is the firefighters, your local superhero. What's going on, Jay?
What's going on, man? Your boy is back. It's been a minute since I've been on, but I'm ready to talk to the fellas.
And down in the bottom right corner, the most whipped man in America.
It's all about
Dr. JK. What's going on, brother?
Hey, whipping is all about perspective, man. I'm happy at home, baby. I'm happy at home. Happy wifey, happy lifey. Hey, it's gonna be a good conversation.
I hear him.
Hey, let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, man. First of all, we want to welcome everybody here. And while we're here, we want to tell you about a couple of ways you can follow us, a couple of ways you can check us out. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. You can follow us at the RIP 28 podcast. We're on Facebook. You can follow us at RIP 28. Instagram, RIP 28 podcast. YouTube, make sure you click, follow, and subscribe. All of that good stuff on YouTube. Leave a couple of comments on SoundCloud, RIP 28 podcast, and more platforms to come. You can follow us. Please do it. Now, today is an interesting episode. We have been getting lots of mail, lots of viewer encouragement, all type of stuff, listener questions, listener whatever. But a lot of the questions come down to a lot of our female listeners. A lot of them want to know, what do men want? A lot of them are single ladies, some of them in relationships. They're trying to figure out, what do men want? And so what we are going to do on the RIP 28 podcast, we are going to figure it out for you. We are going to give it to you. We are going to tell you what men want as we break down our perfect woman. We got a blank spot right here. You see, it's a blank page. We are going to fill it out and tell you what the perfect woman is. Now, this may be the most toxic episode ever of the RIP 28 podcast, but they want the truth. So we're going to give you the truth. Here it is, right here. So we want to start out, fellas, what is the perfect woman? Now, there's a lot of ways you can go about this, a lot of different categories, but I'm going to throw my 2 cents out first. The first thing I want out of my perfect woman, she got to be black. I like the sisters. I went to college in Kentucky. I've seen a lot of white women, but ain't nothing like the sisters. So for me, the perfect woman got to start off with her being black. How y'all feel about that?
To each his own.
To each his own. Now, full disclosure, everybody on this panel is married to or has been married to a black woman. So I think that may be kind of big. I think that may be kind of big in the way we were raised. I know, hey, it could rub somebody the wrong way, but me personally, my perfect woman got to be a sister.
I've never dated outside of my race. So I would have to say I'm not opposed to it, but for me, I'm going to go ahead and say with you, Sly, I think my perfect woman will be built off of being African-American.
Bro, that sounds like a political answer right there.
No, I'm just telling you.
We'll take it. That's not political.
Hey, I'm keeping it real. I've never dated outside my race, so I can't exclude a race or anyone, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, 100%, I've dated a black woman.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
I buy it. I just said it sound political, but it
No,
Hey,
sound like
no,
a
I ain't
political
riding
answer.
the fence. I'm just giving it to you. That's the way it is. I'm 100% black woman I've dated. I've never dated outside my race, so I can't speak on that.
All
So
right. So I'm not gonna give a political answer. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give an engineering answer. I said it depends, and so it depends on the person, right? And so
there you go.
I, yeah, it depends on the person. I'm gonna leave it at that.
So how
Mm.
much? How much more political
Put
you
it like
gonna
this.
be? It depends on the
that's
person. Give an answer and stick with it.
that's an engineering answer. It depends.
Oh, come on, man. We need a Rip 28
We-
podcast answer.
These brothers just gonna leave me out there by myself, man.
No, Slack.
Nah, but
I'm with
I
you.
would
I'm
say
just saying.
in my single life, my preference would have been a African American female. Is African American female, but I'm not opposed to. I wasn't opposed to dating a white woman or a Asian woman or Indian woman. It depends. Like if they were intelligent, they were able to articulate.
Stop, don't do that. We gonna come to that later.
Yeah. So
We'll
that's
come
what I
to
would
that
say.
later.
It depends on the person.
Depends on the
So,
person. Depends on the person. So we might not. So I guess I won't put down. We might have to X off black woman off the perfect woman there. So
Let's just say ain't
they gonna have that one. But
well, I can say. Well, I'm not gonna say that. Go
don't
ahead.
say
You
what you
go
gotta say. Don't hold your tongue. Don't hold your
ahead.
tongue.
Well, I think it depends on me and James both married, and so I think you have different qualifications for somebody that you were married and then somebody that you were just dating. Okay, and
well, we'll
those
leave
are
it
different
alone.
qualifications. So
I'll put it like this.
Go ahead.
If I'm married to a black woman, but let's say if my wife was white, but she had the same qualities that she has right now, then I wouldn't see nothing wrong with it. I can deal with it as long as she's the same, like it's exactly, but just a different skin color. I
Now,
can
let me
deal
ask you
with it.
something. Let me ask you something, Jay. Let me ask you something.
Mhm.
So when you married, it's like long term, right? And
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
would say
I'm
sometimes
11 years in.
that the black woman is gonna age like fine wine.
I didn't say
So
she had to be. Was okay. I didn't say she had to be. There's a lot of women that age well
well, yeah, that's true.
if you take care of yourself.
Yeah, if you take care of yourself.
that good
Okay.
blood don't crack, baby.
Yeah, I mean
Yes,
black don't
sir.
crack. Hey, it's a lot of Hispanic women that age well.
It's true.
It's a lot of white women that age well. So I'm just saying, as long as those same qualities that she has now, if she was white, Hispanic, Asian, I would still love her because that's what I love.
Uh, I buy it. That's a good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer. Good safe answer. All
Good
right.
family feud
Now,
answer.
now the next thing, Juwan brought up a couple of non-physical characteristics that you would want out of your perfect woman. Now, something Juwan brought up, and Juwan being the highest educated of us all here, he brought up intelligence. How do y'all feel about your woman's intelligence? What would if she was a perfect woman? What's that perfect level of intelligence?
Well, I feel like we gotta be able to have an intelligent conversation. Like even if we disagree on something, like we gotta be able to have an intelligent conversation. Not just yeah, it just gotta be. I like to articulate things. I like to pose like what if this and what if that, and we make decisions based on stuff like that. So I got to be able to have a woman who's able to do that. It's and not just want to just take whatever I say for that's the way we're gonna go.
I gotta go with light skin on this one. intelligence to me is very important. Is nothing like having an intellectual conversation with a woman, and she can give a different viewpoint, and like Jawan said, not just agree with what you say. Um, I think that's very important to me. I think it's very sexy. I think it's very appealing for a woman to be able to have a conversation and be kind of multifaceted.
Now my question is once it gets to the book level education, because everybody wants somebody they can talk to. Everybody wants somebody they can, like you guys said, articulate a good conversation. Um, but it comes to that balance for me. It comes to that balance. True enough, in my world, I would love to have a woman who possesses, some form of higher education, who's beyond the high school degree. I mean, the high school diploma, so we can talk and have, intelligent conversations about politics, world views, or anything else. But I
doesn't mean
need common sense too. I need a woman with some common sense also, because what happens when you have a lot of intellectuals, sometimes they have the higher they are intellectually, that common sense level is a little bit lower, so I like that great balance.
I say it's always a third. It's a third book sense, it's a third common sense, and you have to have a third of street sense, or not necessarily of street sense, but knowing what's going on around you in society. And I think that kind of completes a woman as far as being intellectual. And I agree with Sly. Usually the higher you are in the book sense, man, it's hard to get a point across to you because your common sense is usually a little bit lower.
And there go my answer. It depends on the person, because you can have somebody who high book knowledge and low in common sense. So it depends on the person.
Yeah, I don't believe you have to have someone that has like a PhD or anything like that. It's just, I mean, she has to have intelligence, yes, because you got to know how to conduct herself. She got to know how to articulate herself. She has to know how to talk to people. I mean, everything like that. But you don't necessarily have to be the smartest person in the room, but you still got to know how to hold a conversation.
See, I like that. I like that, and I think we can all somewhat agree on LeBron's theory about the thirds. I think you want to have that good balance in the perfect woman. That's what we want. Now, once again, women, all the ladies out there who listening, I want to let you know that you are getting a unfiltered viewpoint from men, because so many women, they ask me, what do men want? So we're giving you this before you start to bash us too bad. We're just telling you what men want. We're just trying to be honest. Everybody want honesty, so we're gonna give you a little bit of honesty today on this program. We're gonna give you a little bit of honesty on what the brothers want.
Sly, tell them it's just a small outline. It's just a small outline
Just a small outline.
So I got a question. Do you think what you want changes as you age?
Oh,
I believe so.
Like, at age 25 and at age 40. Like,
because you change.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you grow as a man, so of course your options or your views are gonna change of your woman.
So at age 25. Go ahead, bro.
Think about this. Think about what we were thinking when we were 25 years old, just out of college, just probably getting our first job into our career or whatever we was doing. And now at 40, 41, think about now how we've changed and how our views change and what we like.
Out of college and whatever.
Because I tell you, my views have changed. See, I was at 25. We was looking for a good time.
You were looking for the baddest thing out there.
That's it. We was looking for a good time right now. Now we're looking more for settle down and family type things. We're not looking for all that 7 days a week
Drama.
partying no more, man.
It's drama sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely drama.
It's funny. Comedian Sinbad, he got a sketch. He got a little skit about this. He talked about one of his stand-up specials. He talking about when you're 25, you know, you looking for the baddest thing in the world, you know, the baddest one on the block. But when you get 40, you ain't looking for that 25-year-old who bad. You're looking for a 40-year-old who recognized the symptoms of a stroke. So, who can help you out? Help you out if something go wrong. Somebody who know how to massage that bad knee.
I got a partner who's around my age, and he called it, well, now he say what they are called is he's looking for a woman, his 401k plan. So he's looking for somebody that, you know, on the same level as him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now let's check something else out. When it comes to that perfect woman, money is something. Money is a huge deal. Now you got certain guys who mentality is, I'm gonna make more than my woman. I'm gonna make more than my old lady. My old lady not gonna work or anything like that. And then you got certain guys who want their woman to be, you know, CEO of a company. You know, how do we feel about your woman's earning potential? Now, I throw myself out there first. I want my woman to make as much money as she can possibly make.
That's it, boy.
I work hard. I wouldn't mind being a house husband.
Hey, Sly, I'm with you. I say I need a go-getter. I want somebody that's never settling for what they're making. I want somebody that's always trying to better themselves. Now, if that's making more than me, I've been on both ends of the stick. I'll be the first one to tell you. I've been on both ends of the stick where I've made more money than the woman I was with, and I've been where I've made considerably less than my lady I was with. So I think it's all about, like Juwan says, depending on the person and the maturity of the female and the male, because you know the male ego can be fragile.
Yeah.
So it's all about how mature you are. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth now. I ain't gonna give a political answer, Juwan. When the lady was making more than me, I felt some kind of way.
Well, I would say it depends on how much more she's making than you. Like if it's like 10% more, 20% more, you know, it depends.
Hey, hold on one second. I got a comment in the peanut gallery sitting over here saying, but why you felt a certain way?
Why I felt a certain way? Because exactly. I'm a man and I'm competitive. I want to be the best. I want to be on top in everything I do, whether it's in my classroom, whether it's coaching, whether it's a father, a bro. I want to be the best. And I felt some kind of way, but it did motivate me to make some changes and to go ahead and do what I needed to do. So it wasn't a bad thing. It was just something that I had to deal with at the time.
Mm-hmm. And I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally understand where you come from. When I was married at the beginning of our relationship, my ex-wife made more than I did. You know, my ego ain't like it. I'll be honest with you. My ego ain't like it. So hey, I said, well, shit, I need to go ahead and get my hustle hard. I need to do what I do better. So push comes to
Let me ask you.
I don't want her to get a big piece of chicken at dinner.
Let me ask y'all one question though. Did she make y'all feel any type of way about if she made more than y'all?
No, she didn't.
So then why does it matter?
Because that's just the competitive nature in me. And just that I want to be the breadwinner, like Sly said. When it comes Thanksgiving time, I want the big piece of the damn turkey.
So,
but look, Juwan, to answer your question, Juwan, when you said was it a considerable amount, I was working on a teacher's salary and a coach's salary, and she was an RN with some more letters behind her name. So I'll just leave it at that, and I won't say no more.
Because I've been on both sides too. I mean, at one point, Wife was making more than me. At one point, I was making more than her. Now we make about the same now. But I mean, it hasn't. To me, it hasn't changed me. It didn't matter
Yeah.
to me. As
I,
long as everything is taken care of in the house, where it's coming from, it don't matter.
Yeah, no, I'm with James on that one. And at the same point, like I was in grad school finishing my PhD. And my wife was just out of pharmacy school for about a year. And so she was making, so she made considerably a lot more money than me, right? We had one kid at the time that we just had a kid. I was taking care of the kid at home while I was finishing my degree. So it worked out because she was working long hours. She was trying to pay back her student loans. I had the kid. I could still work from home, get my stuff done, and like 2 days a week I go and meet my professor and do stuff. But then once we moved and I took a full-time job, she stepped back, right? And now I'm working full-time, and now she's there at the house, and taking care of the kids more so, and she's kind of working part-time. And so it's a partnership, and one thing you got to understand: in order to make more money, you're not going to be there as much. So if you're married, somebody got to be there, especially got kids. And so both people can't, even if they got earning potential, they can't make a lot of money. Like I can make a lot more, but I might be on the road a lot more traveling. And so I don't want to do that because then that put all the pressure on her. And so you can't. So it's a like Jay said, it's a balance there.
You know what's interesting is the two people who are happily married don't have a problem. They understand that it's a teamwork. And the two guys who divorced, we feel,
I got mad.
we felt that kind of way.
Hey, Slime, but it goes back to what you said earlier. A point that I think we're gonna make a lot reference to tonight is balance. But what both of you explained, like you said, the two happily married guys was balance. When you were making less, it was a balance. So I guess that's what you got to find: balance and maturity in the situation.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Now, the perfect woman also. Now, the perfect woman, we're all ex-athletes. Some of us, mainly me, better than the rest, but we're all
Better than the rest.
we're all athletes. How do you feel about your perfect woman when it comes to her knowing sports or being involved in sports or anything like that? Me personally, in my mind, my perfect woman has to know something about football. She has to be a football fan and wouldn't mind sitting down on Sunday afternoon. She know I'm sitting down watching the game. Now, how y'all feel about y'all perfect woman when it comes to sports?
I'll say this. Go ahead, JK.
Yeah, I would say that she doesn't necessarily have to be I like basketball. She don't have to be a basketball fan. My wife isn't a basketball fan, but she knows at time, and she know my favorite team, and she knows when I'm gonna watch the game. And so, give me that time. That's all I ask. As long as I got the time to watch my favorite team, I'm good. You ain't gotta look now. If you want to sit on the couch and enjoy the game with me, that would be a great plus. But I don't necessarily have to have that.
Hey, I need an athlete. I need somebody that know what I'm going through as a coach. And I need you to be able to tell me, kind of see what you see in the stands on Friday night. If I got a DB that I missed that's out of his third slot, I need you to say, hey, he was out of his third. He wrong. And when they come Sunday, I need you to sit down and know the Buffalo Bills, I don't want to hear you. That's all I ask. Friday night, Sunday. That's it. Friday night and Sunday, JK. That ain't a lot to ask, James. I give you Saturday. I'll miss some college football and sacrifice that time for you. Hey, you gotta give up something, man.
Friday.
You got not. Hey, I'm a coach, James. I'm not giving up Friday night. Friday night, you need to be in the stands and you need to be yelling, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah,
For your
but like
team.
you say, you're a coach, and most coaches I know, their significant other needs to be just as committed to them because you spend a lot of time at the school coaching.
Yeah.
So
But
if
I'm
they're
just
not
saying the
committed to
perfect
be,
woman.
yeah,
I'm saying we just making the perfect woman. Now, if it was just, if it wasn't a perfect woman, I'll settle for, like you said, JK, just knowing my favorite team and when it's time to
yeah,
watch the game, you know what to do. But if it's my perfect woman, she need to
You gotta
know.
be there.
She got to be there. She got
To
to
me,
know.
I think if she's gonna be the perfect woman, if she knows that you like basketball, football, whatever it is, then she is going to try to learn it so that she can be around you. I mean, my wife, she's always been a diehard football fan, so I never had to worry about that. But I mean, the perfect woman, yeah, she's gonna try to learn whatever sport that you're into because she want to be into you.
True. But the only way you could turn your wife off from doing that, James, is show her some of your highlight films. She would be definitely turned off.
What you talking about? The touchdowns that I ran and the sacks and tackles and losses I had.
Oh man, I'm just messing with you, man. I'm messing with you.
But my wife, yeah, she's a diehard sports fan. So I'm with Sly. I do need to have somebody that does have a little bit of stuff in them, or at least willing to learn.
Hey, think about this. You go to a football party or a couple's football party. You need to know something. I don't need you just sitting there. I need you to be able to put in on the conversation.
Yeah.
I
Because
need you to be able to.
we like two totally different NFL teams. So I like that. So it's like a little rivalry in the house whenever we play each other or anything like that. So that's what I love about it.
Okay. Good info right there. Good info. The next thing we want to go to, we talked about some of the, financial, we talked about intellect, sports. Now, we as men, some people say we are shallow. We are a little bit shallow, but now let's talk about the physical. And we are describing the perfect woman. Not your woman, not whoever. We're describing the perfect woman. The perfect woman physically. What does this perfect woman have to have? Why is she the perfect woman for you? Me personally?
Engineer answer, JK.
Yeah, we already know Juwan ain't gonna answer the question. We go ahead and mute him.
So I got the answer right there in my background, right here.
See?
I like that, Juwan. I like that.
But me personally, when we say perfect woman, I am a mama. If you listening, turn the broadcast off. But I'm a chess man. I love some tick-old bitties. So my perfect woman has to be stacked up top. That's rule number one for my perfect woman. Now,
and I get my
go ahead.
answer out the way.
Go ahead.
My perfect woman, this day and age right now, is my wife. My 25-year-old self, my perfect woman, would have been Sanaa Lathan or somebody.
See, I'm glad you said the name because Niecy Nash. Everybody who knows me know Niecy Nash is my perfect woman. Everybody who knows me know that is my perfect woman right there. When we talk about the body. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I used to be like you, Sly. I used to be a heavy tiggle bitty man. So, Mama, when you hear this show, please just forgive me. This is just for the show, baby. But I used to be a tiggle bitty man. But now I like thighs and ass. Man.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong.
Either way, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
I'm gonna say at my 25-year-old self, I like the Coke bottle, the small waist, then the hips. That's what I like.
That's it.
I know before he said it, he looked over his shoulder.
Yeah. And she was like this.
Hey,
She already caught back. She probably had the overhand about the tilt slap.
Hey, boy. He looked up quick. I'm going to say my 20-year-old self. You smart, Juwan. You smart. That's why you got a PhD, baby.
Hey, you get wiser in your older years, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. And you live to fight another day.
Before we go on, we want to take a quick moment to shout out tonight's sponsor, of the show is our Ford Counseling. Ford Counseling brought to you by Jay-Z Little. Jay-Z Little is Ford Counseling and Consulting. We had an episode on mental health the other day, a couple of weeks ago, and Jay talked about how we as black men, we need to go and receive counseling and how it works and how it benefits us as black men. So we want to shout out his business to let you guys know that if you have any type of mental issues you want to talk to, he likes to call himself the everyday counselor, the homeboys counselor, somebody you can relate to. You can relate to on a just a basic level, you know. One of your homeboys you can sit down and talk to, but he is certified to do the talking. So that's Ford Counseling and Consulting, and you can reach him at realrehabglobal@gmail.com, and that's Jay-Z Little. Jay-Z Little, you can reach out to Jay for your counseling needs. All right.
Hey, Sly, before you transition, I also want to plug his 2 books. I have his 2 books that he's written, Love Story and You Got It, Young Brother. 2 good reads if you have young kids and if you're working with young people in general. You may want to grab those books. They're great reads.
Yeah, great reads, man. And one thing, I think You Got It, Young Brother, he actually had my dad as one of the people he dedicated the book to. He had a bunch of men who had a positive effect on his life growing up. And shout out to Jay. My dad, you know, God rest his soul, was one of the people he dedicated the book to, inspiration of the book to. But anyway, now we have to get off the serious topic and go back to our usual bullshit over here. But so we talked about some of the things physically that we like as a woman. Now the next thing, this is the grown-up discussion part right here. The freak level of your woman. What type of freak level you need? D.L. Hughley brought up a really good point when it comes to men and women in dating. He said that women cannot go backwards in lifestyle. Whereas if a woman has a man who takes her on trips outside of the United States and they go traveling, her next man has to do that same thing because she can't go backwards in her lifestyle. But as men, we can't go backwards sexually. If your last girlfriend tossed your salad and you had threesome, your next girlfriend better do the same thing, or you're going to creep back to the last girlfriend. So my question is, your perfect woman, where does her freak level need to be on a 1 to 10, a scale of 1 to 10? Now me, I'm going to go about a strong 8.75. The freak level got to be up there. It got to be up there. Maybe 8.9. Her freak level got to reach for me. So when your perfect woman, where is her freak level going to be at?
Who first?
Go ahead, JK. JK, this is the one for you, JK.
Hey, look. I'm basically gonna say it depends.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Honestly, if,
1 being
if,
low, 10 being high.
if you're in a relationship and y'all both are committed and really into each other, I feel like she gonna do whatever you want to do to please you in the bedroom.
Where's the level, man? Give us the level.
So I don't have a level. If
Oh God.
I don't have a
You off the
level.
charts with it. You off the charts with it.
I don't have a level. And if it was a level, if she want that level would rise as we become more connected and in love.
Nah, that's bull.
So you
I'm calling bullshit on that one. Because
Hey,
level ain't going nowhere. You know, no matter how much you love, if she don't
If
feel
she ain't got
comfortable,
that,
huh?
go ahead.
I said, if she don't feel comfortable doing X, Y, Z, you can be married for 30 years. She ain't gonna start doing X, Y, Z in year number 5, dog.
That's right.
If she ain't got that little bit of free
Hey,
energy,
that's
ain't
your
never gonna
personal
have it in.
experience. I have a different personal experience.
Okay.
So,
If she ain't never had a little bit of freak in her, she ain't never gonna have a little bit.
It's your job
James,
to
so
bring that
what's
out though.
That ain't a quiet taste.
hey
That-
James?
you know, that-
James, give your answer, James. What's your level?
Mine would probably be about a 7. I'm a little bit above conservative, you know. I like a little bit, you know, a little bit of freak in you, but you ain't got to be out of this world.
you got to be an overachiever in my book.
Hey, 7 is
Seven,
over.
that's a C.
So let me I'm gonna turn the Bron. Oh, let me let Bron go first. All right, I'm gonna turn that question back.
Ron gonna say 10.
Well,
I ain't gonna go.
Go ahead, Bron. Go
Hey,
ahead.
I ain't gonna say 10, but I'm gonna say about a 9.5, man, because you got to keep my interest.
Yeah.
If you're not keeping my interest, then it's gonna be wandering elsewhere. If you talking about a committed relationship, it's gotta be up there. You got to be a lady in the street, but you sure got to be a freak in the sheets. That's just what it is. It's grown
you know
people
what-
time then.
You know what? This goes back to what you said, Sly. What DL said. So Braun been having somebody tossing salad and stuff.
Hey, brother, I'm gonna tell you now. I am not with
He
that.
still need that in his life.
No, sir. It's different levels of freakiness. Now, I'm not gonna go to the level Sly may go to or some other guys, but I'm just saying for me, huh? Go ahead, JK.
So for the currently single guys, right? Well, I don't know if y'all in relationships and all that, but the currently non-married guys right now, and so we talk about freak levels, right? So, and yours was Sly was like an 8.5, and Bron's was like a 9 or something.
9.
9.5. They 1 point
9 and
apart.
9.5.
We'll say 9. We'll say 9. Me
So
and Sly 9.
have you had a 9 and a 9.5, and were they able to keep your attention? When I say keep your attention, that means you straight and narrow with that person. And if so, how long were they able to keep your attention?
Let's put it like this. I ran into a 9.7. She made me miss my mama's birthday one time.
Okay.
All right. So yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, Sly, he said, how long did she keep your attention? So I'm going to guess 5 minutes.
Until she left me.
That's all it took. 5 minutes.
I'm not going to say too much, but I've ran into some that's been off the charts. But that's in my younger days.
In my young, long
Time ago.
Long time ago.
I mean, way back. I'm talking about in my 20s, college years, man. You know, way back before I matured and grew like a fine wine. So now I don't need all that. But that was talking about my 25-year-old younger self that we were talking about earlier in the show.
So you met some that you was actually scared of. They scared you.
No, I ain't never met that.
They did
Yeah.
more than what you was willing to do.
Yeah.
Now I have had ones that I had to say no, that I would not partake in that. But you know, I mean,
So you was scared.
no, I just don't partake. That's not.
You was scared.
We met in the summer. I said, I am a Christian. I do not do that.
I'm just saying, James. There's just certain things I don't partake in, sir.
I mean, I feel you. That's why I'm at a 7.
You know your level. I ain't mad
I
at
know
you,
my
brother.
level.
So you ain't with the you seen the video yet? Since we talk about it, I'm gonna get on it. The WAP video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Have you heard the song, the lyrics?
No,
Hey,
No, I haven't either.
like,
You haven't either.
like
Okay,
one
Mary has.
hit that dangly thing in the back of her throat.
She gonna ride it and spell her name all on your chest.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, if that ain't what you like, then you know.
Hey,
hey,
she is the winner.
that's about a 7, I guess.
She,
Oh, that's a 7. Okay.
that's
I got
that ain't no 7, bro. I want to see what your 8 and 9 is. If that's a 7. Boy.
Oh man.
Boy.
Any final thoughts on that, JK?
Nah, to each his own. But you know, I still don't think y'all answered the question. Like, how long did that keep your attention?
Well,
Snot did. He said until she left.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying that if that's all it is to it, we're not
That
gonna
don't make
last.
the list. Yeah, I don't think
We're
that
not
makes
gonna
the
last.
list right
But,
now. Yeah.
once again, we are describing the perfect one. So not only does she bring that to the table, she brings all these other qualities that we
It's gonna keep you there.
Yeah.
Of course, they're gonna keep you
All
up.
right.
That's where the
Okay.
intellect and the sense of
Gotcha.
humor and all that comes in. We just talking
Right.
about the perfect woman now. The perfect woman.
because if all she bringing is wealth,
That's it. Yeah, that is her.
you know,
The wax.
Yeah.
I got to see this video.
wealth don't take care of you when you're sick.
Uh,
Right.
Wealth don't take care of you when you're sick. Wealth don't know how to make chicken sick.
Hey, and WAP don't come with many benefits either.
No.
So, you know, I get what you're saying, JK, but we just talking about for the show, just the perfect
Yeah,
woman.
I got you.
But she has to have all those other intangible things as well as the physical. Because like you're saying, the physical is going to eventually wear out, or you're going to eventually see somebody that you think is finer and your attention will be elsewhere. So I agree with what you're saying in principle. But we talking about the perfect woman, so she got to bring that WAP.
WAP is expensive.
You can vary.
WAP can get real expensive. All right. Okay, so we've talked about the look, we've talked about the intelligence, we've talked about a financial state. What else, what have we left out of the perfect one?
Her motherly qualities.
Ooh,
yeah.
ooh, yeah.
Motherly that's key. Especially with all of us having kids. Even though y'all are married and we just talking about the perfect woman, if she doesn't know how to be a mother and don't have that nurturing side, ooh, that's a tough sell. Even if she have all those other qualities, that's a tough sell.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
I think one of mine would be confidence. A lot of confidence, because and this is just a funny side to it, but like a lot of us, we know, like we hang out with our women or something, and another fine woman pass by, would she be offended if you just talking to her and be like, hey, because I know some couples that's like this. You be talking to your wife, like, hey, yeah, she got a big old butt or something like that. But she got confidence in herself that know that you ain't going nowhere, that you still love her, but you still realize that there's other fine women out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't answer that because we know.
What about you, JK?
We don't do that in my house.
The one live here just like this.
That's
Ain't got
it.
the horse blinders on.
Bird box. See, bird boxing it.
Oh, boy.
But what we missing, JK? Give it to us, man. What are we missing? What seasoning are we missing in this great recipe so far?
No, I think we hit a lot of good topics. We talked about, we hit a lot of good topics. Yeah, I just think that you got to grow together. If it's if it's gonna be a long-term thing, you got to have somebody that you can grow with. That because things change. Like you say, when you're 25, you're 30, 35, 40, and for a relationship to last extended period of time, y'all got to be growing in the right direction. And so y'all got to know how to prioritize what's important in the relationship, and then what things don't matter as much. And because knowing that both are there's differences in both people, and so you got to complement each other, and so and so you can grow together. So I say growing together.
I got one slide. Communication. Communication. She got to be a great communicator. Because I can't read your mind. I can't read your mind and know what you want, or how I offended you, or how you know what I mean? I need you to talk to me, and that way we can grow together. Because if you're walking around harvesting this emotion that I don't even know about, that could be a hindrance to our growth if you can't communicate and articulate what's going on.
Now, what is communicating? Where does crossing that line of communicating to talking too damn much?
Well, that's a fine line. That's a thin line between love and hate. That's a thin line between love and hate. I guess you got to find that balance. You got to kind of know what your partner likes and how far is too far. That's something like it's gonna depend on the person and the couple.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, Braun, about communicating. You can't read them out, but I think that's part of growing together. And I don't know whether James can speak on this too. When you start growing with that person, you kind of know,
You already
even
know
though
they're
they,
gonna say
hey,
before they say it.
yeah, you kind of know that, okay, yeah, I did that, and that probably pissed them off. And you already
Mhm.
know, okay, I need to bring that up because they might not,
Mhm.
because some people personality is just different. It might take them a while to bring something up, and they might be walking around here not speaking. But as you grow together, you kind of know their personality and kind of know, okay, this probably bothers them. I need to reach out because I know they're going to harvest that, and then you can kind of help that communication out too. So
I tell
yeah,
my wife all the time. I know you like the back of my hand. I can already tell when the emotion is different or anything like that, and I can pretty much pick out what caused it or what happened or anything like that. So yeah, you're right.
Hey, bro, I was just probably my first 2-3 years, bro. I ain't know. I'm like, dude, I ain't know when I pissed off. And so you walk around like, oh, I did this 2-3 weeks ago. That's why you mad, and that's why you mad. Oh, but as you get older and you in this thing a long time, then you kind of know, you start knowing that stuff because you grow, you kind of learning the person, and so it's a learning period, and so.
Makes sense. It makes sense, fellas. It makes sense. So let me pull up our perfect woman over here. I don't know how we stand on this black woman because y'all tiptoed around black woman, but
No, I'm definitely with you, Sly. I'm just saying you can't just cancel out. Love comes in different colors, but I'm with the black woman. I'm pro black, baby. I'm pro black.
and
As
now
long as she's a woman, that's all that matters to me.
the next one is intelligent in different areas. You take LeBron, take 1/3 book sense, 1/3 common sense, and 1/3 street sense.
Yeah, I think we all agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good formula. That's a good formula.
And the next one, I think 3 of us agreed, but 1 didn't, was understand and loves whatever sport you're into.
Is that a light-skinned answer that didn't agree?
Yeah. He didn't agree with the love part, but he did agree with the understands part. Am I right?
Yeah, to understand. Yeah, I got to understand.
All right. And the next one was financially stable. We had a lot of different opinions on what is the right amount of money for your woman to make, but I think everybody agreed that she needs to be financially stable and can hold her own.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
And then the next one is the freak level has to be high. To have that wow. Jawan is of the impression that it's going to increase over time. None of us agree with that, but
you got to bring it out, man. I like a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. Some challenges you lose.
Yeah. You ain't never brought a car, you ain't test drive first. But that WAP is definitely a necessary element in the perfect woman.
Yes, sir.
Also, motherly qualities. Motherly qualities is a spot of the perfect woman that you need. We all have children, and one thing we all respect about our wives and even our ex-wives is the fact that they are great mothers. And so the perfect woman definitely needs to have motherly qualities. And then I think the last one we kind of harped on was communication. Know how to talk to you and not talk too damn much. That sound about right?
Yeah.
That's it.
For the perfect woman.
That's it.
Hey, fellas, I think we did a pretty good job there. That list looked pretty.
I
like it
too. I think we got a pretty decent list for the perfect woman. Now I know our email is gonna be full up about when you're gonna be a perfect man.
I can't do no perfect man.
Hey, Sly, time out. We don't need to do a show about that. I'm right there.
Yeah, I'm me.
It's me. I am him and he am I.
Hey, Juwan, you think you can get your wife on and she can do a Perfect Man show?
Her answer. Her answer.
I don't know.
be honest.
Mine will come on. She will come on.
Yeah.
I gotta ask. I don't know. I have to ask.
Juwan, his wife will be honest. She ain't scared of Juwan.
Well, mine ain't scared of me neither, so I know she's gonna say what she got to say.
Oh,
Hey, we gotta look into that. We'll see about that. We'll see if we can make that happen.
we'll see if that can happen. Well, this has been a great episode, man. I've enjoyed it. I hope all our listeners have enjoyed it too, man. We're gonna sign out of this thing because we're getting close to the time. We don't want to keep it too long. LeBron, you got anything you want to end up the show on? Any final thoughts?
Man, we know there's no perfect woman, but the women in our lives, we love them all the same.
What about you, Jay? James?
Oh, me. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, you just got to love who you with. Like Juwan and LeBron say, you got to be able to grow with them.
All right, Dr. Will.
Hey, all the females out there, we gave you a list, but in all honesty, it's a mix of those things. And guys know that realistically, I'm not the perfect man. I'm probably not the perfect man for everybody, but I'm the perfect man for my wife. And so that's good enough for me, and she's the perfect woman for me. And so find your perfect somebody. That's what you got to do.
Hey, speak for yourself. Talking about we ain't the perfect. I'm the perfect guy for everybody.
Well, all right, man. Well, we got a blast today here on the RIP 28 podcast. We had a blast just talking, enjoying the conversation, about what is perfect, what is not perfect, and all that other stuff, man. Once again, here on the RIP 28 podcast, man, we're a spot where we talk about a lot of things. Some things you might like, some things you might not like, but we're going to keep on talking about it no matter what. Well, we'll see you next week on the RIP 28 podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you into me, hope you understand I am not your enemy, nor will I pretend to be. I got these styles like Austin, so all I can see is a bunch of enemies. These people is killing me, really though, y'all some lame actors. On a ball and chain.